Welcome to Unleash Your Audacious Confidence on Win-Win Women TV. This show is all about sharing the tips, tools, and techniques that will allow you to step boldly in the direction of your dreams despite your feelings, fears, or past failures, to imagine what's possible for yourself and live the life you deserve. Hi, here I am. Welcome to this episode of Unleash Your Audacious Confidence. I'm your host, Alicia Couri. And on today's show, we're talking about a very serious topic, cyberbullying and trolling. And I wanted to do this show because, I was trolled on the internet a few weeks ago, and it wasn't anything serious, wasn't anything devastating, more of an annoyance. But this can get very dangerous very quickly, and it affects so many young people to the point of them taking their own lives because of it. And for that reason, I wanted to do a show on this. I wanted to focus in on this because it really is becoming such a, it's proliferating on social media. The sextortion, the catfishing, the bullying, the deep fakes, all of them, all of it it's outrageous, and it's getting way too real to a lot of people, to the point where a lot of this is coming offline and actually affecting them in their everyday lives. And so when it's that significant and that harmful, things need to be done about it. And the laws are just not keeping up. The laws are just not keeping pace with the speed that the internet is moving at. The social media platforms aren't doing enough to protect our children, to protect our women. And so it's up to us, the consumers, it's up to us to, and I don't want to say fight back, but it's up to us to demand that things be done differently. I saw this report on television of a young man. He was 16 years old. He just had his 16th birthday. And I think it hit home for me because I have a son who's 16 as well. He just turned 16. And he was an only child, and he took his life because of cyberbullying and sextortion. They did something and bullied him into doing things that he did not want to do, and then threatened to expose him, and he took his own life. So this is not something, I know I talk about audacious confidence, and I talk about building yourself up for being bold and stepping out, but this is something that's really, really serious. And we have to take this seriously because it's debilitating our young people, and it's debilitating some women out there who are being victimized by cyberbullying. And it's easy for someone to cyberbully if they have a fake profile, or if they're hiding behind these anonymous names that they feel emboldened to do something to someone else. And if we remember that hurt people, they're also hurting out there, but instead of getting help, they're turning that onto innocent people, or just turning it onto someone else, instead of really leaning into their own humanity and compassion and empathy and all those wonderful qualities that were bestowed upon us by God. They are choosing wickedness and evilness and maliciousness and contempt and just falling into the bases of society. In fact, 7 out of 10 people say that they have perpetrated in cyberbullying. And cyberbullying is really going after somebody and not stopping. When you go after somebody, I mean, we have jokes on the internet and people laugh at other people, and people are making fun out there. If it's all in good fun, that's okay. If you're poking fun to the point where it hurts someone, then that's bullying and that's trolling. Like if they're finding humor in it and they're laughing at themselves, and it's one thing. But when you're taking someone who's unaware that they're being recorded or being taking pictures of, and you're using their image, you're using their face, and you're using their names, and you're doing things like that to poke fun at them, that is trolling and bullying. And 64% of our young people, it's been reported that 64% are being bullied, but only 1 in 10, so only 10% are actually reporting it to authorities that they're being bullied. Cyberbullying is increasing the number of self-harm, and not just suicides, but cutting and doing things to themselves to hurt themselves. 83% of victims experience bullying spilling over into their real lives and not just on the internet. Instagram is one of the most prolific platforms for bullying, and 5% are from fake profiles. A quarter of the people who've been bullied on the internet have left social media. They've just quit social media, depending on the severity of their bullying. So what happens is there's a trauma response to bullying. So there are 4 basic, you could say 5, but these basic trauma responses that people have when they are threatened in some way. And this is how they respond to it. They either fight, flee, which is flight, they fawn, or they freeze. And there's a 5th one, which is flop. But I'm not going to talk about flopping right now. Actually, flopping leads to depression and other debilitating scenarios. But let's talk a little bit about fight. So if someone cyberbullies, you think, well, I'm going to fight back. I'm going to fight back. And I want you to stop and think, is that the best course of action, to fight back? Because sometimes when you fight back, what you're doing is actually creating and generating more hostility, more anger, more momentum for this never-ending battle. Because then you say something, they say something, you say something back, then they retort, and then you come back and they clap back, and then you clap back, and then it's just this never, and then other people join into the conversation and just grows and becomes this enormous thing. So there's that fight that becomes this never-ending battle online, and that could spill over into your real life too. So fight is not always the best alternative. There are times when you have to fight back, but a fight like that, what does it do to your confidence? Is it really boosting and building your confidence, or are you now getting mired down in this aggravating and irritating and mood-breaking environment that's just full of hatred and bitterness? Because that's what it leads to, bitterness. So fighting against trolling, unless you take that fight to the authorities and don't try to do it yourself, unless that fight is, you know what, I'm going to make sure that they pass a law against it, like redirect that fight energy into something positive where you get the authorities involved and they're able to pick up that cause, because then that empowers you. That fight now empowers you because you've done something positive and productive. so that that doesn't keep happening to someone else. If you're just fighting you and that troll and that bully, that's not productive at all. So if you're fighting, make sure that that fight is actually building your confidence and it's not tearing you down. All right? The next one, flight, running away. We're just going to run away from the situation. Someone's bullying me, and I'm just going to run away from the situation. So you shut down, you pull off the post or whatever it is, you take it down, or you quit the internet, you quit social media, you run away, and you just say, you know what, I'm not dealing with that. But what is that doing to your confidence now? If you run away and you continue to play that over and over and over again in your mind, that is debilitating too. Because now you don't feel like you stuck up for yourself, or you feel like you didn't, you can justify it and say, well, I'm not going to get involved in that. I'm taking the high road. And that's fine if you really, really believe that you're taking the high road, that your flight was in a defensive, positive defensive, where it's now, you know what? They could say whatever they want, all they want about me, doesn't bother me. I really don't care. And I'm just going to block and ignore it. That's empowering. What's disempowering is you feeling so bad about it that you take it down, or that you run away and you don't go on the internet. You're afraid, so you allow fear to come in. So you're fleeing because of fear, and you're fleeing, and then you talk to everybody about it. So you're just continuing to have that hurt and that pain continue to fester and grow. So those are the two differences with flight. Is if you block it and you say, you know what, I'm not even dealing with that. They're not even talking to me or about me. I don't care to be a part of that. Blocked. That flight is empowering, because now you've taken control and you said, I'm not going to allow them to control my narrative. I'm not going to allow them to control my mood. And once that's cut off, you're done with it. But if your flight is in fear and in worried about what's going to happen, and you're just so scared and you don't want to go back on social media, and you're allowing fear to control you, that's disempowering. That is not, that flight is not powerful. So I hope you see the difference in that. Freeze. Freeze is interesting because freeze is disassociative. You act as if nothing happened. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Nothing happened. And why that's dangerous is that you're not allowing yourself to actually take a stand for yourself. So freezing and just disassociating is not powerful at all. And then we have this one called fawning. Well, fawn is people pleasing. What could I do to make this better? What could I do so that they don't dislike me? What can I do? You know, if someone called you a name on the internet, someone called you out, someone called you ugly, or they said, "Oh, you're so old looking," or "You got wrinkles," or there's something wrong with you. Then you choose after that. Fawning is, well, I'm going to go have plastic surgery, or I'm going to go do something drastic to change how I look to please them so that they like me. Fawning is how a lot of predators groom young children, how they groom them to take these X-rated photos, these explicit photos of themselves and send it to them. That's they start fawning and wanting to be liked and wanting everybody to you know, please like me. So I'll do anything. I'll do anything you want. Just don't hate me. Don't say bad things about me. And so fawning becomes very, very dangerous, because then that's where women and children could get deeper into a hole with a predator when they get into fawning. So fawning is not empowering at all. So freezing and fawning, those are two of your most devastating trauma responses to bullying, because it allows the perpetrator to win. So if you have found in the past that you were fawning, you were just giving in to whatever someone else wanted, you were doing what they wanted, I want you to really think about what would make you feel powerful. What is it that would make you feel powerful in that situation? And it's probably not to fight, and it's probably not to run away. It's probably not to freeze. So I'm going to give you a fifth alternative. I'm going to give you another alternative, because I don't want you to be hopeless in this situation. So when someone trolled me, well, it wasn't one person, it was a bunch of people, and it's not the first time. I've been trolled on the internet, on social media, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on this one most recently was on YouTube. I had posted a video about turning 55 this year in 5 months. I'm like, in 5 months, I'm going to be 55. Oh my gosh. I don't even know if I can count that high. You know, it was just meant to be a little funny little, oh, look at me. Like I can't believe that this time, and it was really a commentary on how fast time has gone. Like I remember being 14, 15, just trying to get through school, right? Trying to get through boy troubles, boyfriend issues, and the worst thing that I had to worry about is who's going to do the dishes, getting my homework done on time. And I blinked twice and have 3 children, 2 adult children, and I'm going to be 55. And I was like, wow, I can't even believe I'm going to be 55 this year. So anyway, that's what it was, just a really quick, simple video on YouTube. A little short video. So it was probably 20, 30 seconds. But some of the comments were about lines under my eyes. So they're like, oh yeah, we could see you got all those lines under your eyes. We could tell that you're old. Maybe you need to take off the filter and let's really see what you look like. There was another one that said, you know, share some pictures of you without makeup on, then we'll be the judge. So we'll be the judge. Like, I never said anything about my looks at 55. I never said that, oh my God, look at me, I'm so awesome. Look at me at 55. I didn't say anything about that. But they chose to focus on my looks and trying to find flaws, right? Find fault and find flaws and point them out in the most ungracious way. And so I read them at first. I read because I like to respond to people who comment, especially on YouTube. I'm working on building up my YouTube channel, so I'm on my YouTube channel responding to comments and things, and mostly on most of my social media. I am the only one on any of my social media channels that comment, and interact. So if you leave me a message, if you comment on social media, and by the way, my YouTube channel is at Alicia Couri, so you can go onto YouTube and subscribe to my channel. But anywhere on social media, it's at the Alicia Couri, and so I'm the only one that answers my social media comments. And so when I was in there reading it, I thought for a second, I'm like, wow, how do I respond to this? Because I was going to respond. And that's where the idea for the show came. Because I thought, how do I respond to someone who just woke up and chose violence against me? They just woke up and decided that they were going to say something that wasn't positive. And I know I have lines under my eyes. I don't care. I don't care about lines and the crow's feet around my eyes. So first of all, it's like, I don't care about that. But why don't I care about it? So I responded to each and every one of those messages about the lines and the wrinkles and all that around my face. And I said, yeah, because I smile a lot. And this is almost 55 years of smiling. So of course I'm going to have lines under my eyes and around my eyes. I'm okay with that. In fact, I love it that I have lines around my eyes because I smile. That's the way I responded to that, because I wanted to respond in strength and authenticity. And that's one of the 7 secrets to audacious confidence. It's loving yourself and knowing yourself. Know yourself and love yourself. And so by me responding in humor and with love for myself, it completely diffused the situation because nobody said anything. In fact, I got a comment saying, bravo, that's the best response that you could have had. Because I chose not to allow whatever they were feeling or whatever they wanted to do or however they wanted to reach out to me to impact who I am. That's standing in confidence. Who are you? Do you know yourself? Do you love yourself? Because when you know yourself and love yourself, if someone says something about you that's not true, why are you responding to that? And I believe from even as a young person, I had that in me. When someone would say something negative about me in school, I wouldn't respond. So if someone called me a B, for instance, you know what the B word is, right? Someone called me I would keep walking and they would keep yelling at me. And I'd keep walking. I'm like, they're not talking to me. I don't know who they're talking to. That's not me. And I wasn't fighting. I wasn't fleeing. I was already walking. I wasn't running away. I'm like, they're clearly not talking to me or about me because I don't identify with that. And the same way, I love myself. And so if I come from the place of loving myself and I can have fun with myself, I can laugh about my lines under my eyes. Of course, I'm on a filter here. I use a filter wherever I can, right? Because I like how it makes me look. That's nothing wrong with that. But when I look in the mirror, I also love the person that I'm looking back at in the mirror. I don't have a problem with that. So you have to get to the place where you don't have a problem with you because you are working towards being your best self. And if you're working towards being your best self, not the self they want you to be, that's empowering. And so if anybody has anything to say, someone on LinkedIn said that I was vapid, vain, and self-aggrandizing because I posted a picture of me winning a national pageant and talking about how far I had come, that I had used an alter ego, which is another one of the 7 secrets to audacious confidence, that I'd used this alter ego to help boost my confidence. And the alter ego became me, I think it was 4 or 5 years later. And I was writing the story about the journey that my confidence went through. And they chose to look at those 2 pictures of me in a dress pretending to be a princess, you know, with a crown and stuff, to when I actually won a crown and was crowned queen, as being vapid, vain, and self-aggrandizing. And so I was like, I am neither of those, none of those. So I responded again in love, in politeness, in graciousness. And I just said to that person that I'm sorry that you missed the message of my post about really transforming your confidence. You know, and I said, but I'm neither of those things. I'm not none of those things. And in fact, I am at the time, how old was I? I think I was 50. I think I was 50 or 49 or something like that. And I said, you know, I'm this age woman who's been through a lot of different things, and I didn't feel like I was justifying to them, but I wanted her to get to know me. And then she responded with something else, you know, kind of off the cuff, off color. And I just said, okay, well, thank you for your comment. Thank you. I appreciate you taking time to comment. And then I never responded to anything else after that. So here are some steps, right? Understand the facts about you. If you want to respond with some facts and figures to them, make sure you're responding accurately. Understand yourself, know yourself, love yourself. So you're responding in authenticity. If you choose to respond, you don't have to respond. You could just say, you know what, I don't know what they're talking about, and block them and delete their comment. You can do that, as long as you're doing it in power and you're not doing it to hide. You can absolutely block them and their comment. That's one thing that you could do. Just block the comment, delete the comment, and block that person. Like I said, but do it in your power, in your confidence. You can use humor, like I did. It's like, yeah, of course I have lines under my eyes. It's from smiling so much. You can build community. I've had people lash out on me on social media, and because of the community I've built, other people have responded to them. I didn't have to. Other people jumped up and defended me. And that's a beautiful thing to watch. I'm so, so thankful and grateful and honored that people would step out and step into that space to defend and hold me up. So you can build community. You can question them, like, what makes you say that? Why do you think that? Why does your opinion matter? You know, like, get into a conversation that is not a vicious conversation. And if they continue to spew bile, then walk away from that. Like, leave them alone. Like I said, block, but you're doing it in your power. You're not running away from, you're actually stepping out of that situation in your own strength and in your own power. Say thank you. I always say thank you. Thank you. Because you know what? They're boosting your algorithm by commenting. So thank you. They're doing something positive by commenting. Thank you. Might help you go viral. And but bless them, because they're hurting. Hurt people, and they're hurting too. So maybe they need prayer, maybe they need a blessing, maybe they need a kind word. Maybe they're in need of something that you can give to them and actually turn the tables and make that a positive outcome. All right. So I hope that helped. That's what I have for you today. on this Unleash Your Audacious Confidence show. So I just want to encourage you to be bold, to be brave, and every day, especially online, do something to empower yourself and step out with audacious confidence. Until next time, this is Alicia Couri saying goodbye for now, and I'll see you on the next episode of Unleash Your Audacious Confidence here on Win Win Women TV. Mwah.